Pratique inglês todos os dias, ouça, fale, pratique e melhore suas habilidades linguísticas com a gente. Quando terminar, continue praticando no nosso app. É grátis. Link na descrição. Hora de praticar.
I remember my childhood. I remember my childhood.
Lembro da minha infância.
I remember my childhood. I remember my childhood. When I was a kid, I played outside. When I was a kid, I played outside.
Quando eu era criança, eu brincava lá fora.
When I was a kid, I played outside. When I was a kid, I played outside. As a child, I loved cartoons. As a child, I loved cartoons.
Quando criança, eu adorava desenhos.
As a child, I loved cartoons. As a child, I loved cartoons. I used to ride my bike every day. I used to ride my bike every day.
Eu andava de bicicleta todos os dias.
I used to ride my bike every day. I used to ride my bike every day. We used to play hide and seek. We used to play hide and seek.
Nós brincávamos de esconde-esconde.
We used to play hide and seek. We used to play hide and seek. I remember climbing trees with friends. I remember climbing trees with friends.
Eu me lembro de subir em árvores com amigos.
I remember climbing trees with friends. I remember climbing trees with friends. My best friend lived next door. My best friend lived next door.
Meu melhor amigo morava ao lado.
My best friend lived next door. My best friend lived next door. We made forts out of blankets. We made forts out of blankets.
Fazíamos cabanas de cobertores.
We made forts out of blankets. We made forts out of blankets. I loved going to the park. I loved going to the park.
Eu adorava ir ao parque.
I loved going to the park. I loved going to the park. My grandma told bedtime stories. My grandma told bedtime stories.
Minha avó contava histórias de dormir.
My grandma told bedtime stories. My grandma told bedtime stories. We had family dinners every night. We had family dinners every night.
Tínhamos jantares em família todas as noites.
We had family dinners every night. We had family dinners every night. I remember the smell of pancakes. I remember the smell of pancakes.
Eu me lembro do cheiro de panquecas.
I remember the smell of pancakes. I remember the smell of pancakes. I used to wake up early on Saturdays. I used to wake up early on Saturdays.
Eu acordava cedo aos sábados.
I used to wake up early on Saturdays. I used to wake up early on Saturdays. Saturday morning cartoons were my favorite. Saturday morning cartoons were my favorite.
Os desenhos de sábado de manhã eram meus favoritos.
Saturday morning cartoons were my favorite. Saturday morning cartoons were my favorite. I collected stickers as a kid. I collected stickers as a kid.
Eu colecionava adesivos quando criança.
I collected stickers as a kid. I collected stickers as a kid. I had a small red backpack. I had a small red backpack.
Eu tinha uma mochila vermelha pequena.
I had a small red backpack. I had a small red backpack. My first day of school was scary. My first day of school was scary.
Meu primeiro dia de aula foi assustador.
My first day of school was scary. My first day of school was scary. I was shy in elementary school. I was shy in elementary school.
Eu era uma criança tímida no ensino fundamental.
I was shy in elementary school. I was shy in elementary school. We had recess after lunch. We had recess after lunch.
Tínhamos recreio depois do almoço.
We had recess after lunch. We had recess after lunch. I remember my favorite teacher. I remember my favorite teacher.
Eu me lembro do meu professor favorito.
I remember my favorite teacher. I remember my favorite teacher. I used to draw with crayons. I used to draw with crayons.
Eu desenhava com giz de cera.
I used to draw with crayons. I used to draw with crayons. I loved reading picture books. I loved reading picture books.
Eu adorava ler livros ilustrados.
I loved reading picture books. I loved reading picture books. We played tag during recess. We played tag during recess.
Brincávamos de pega-pega no recreio.
We played tag during recess. We played tag during recess. I brought a lunchbox to school. I brought a lunchbox to school.
Eu levava uma lancheira para a escola.
I brought a lunchbox to school. I brought a lunchbox to school. My mom packed peanut butter sandwiches. My mom packed peanut butter sandwiches.
Minha mãe fazia sanduíches de pasta de amendoim.
My mom packed peanut butter sandwiches. My mom packed peanut butter sandwiches. The school bus was always loud. The school bus was always loud.
O ônibus escolar era sempre barulhento.
The school bus was always loud. The school bus was always loud. I learned to tie my shoes. I learned to tie my shoes.
Eu aprendi a amarrar meus cadarços.
I learned to tie my shoes. I learned to tie my shoes. My dad taught me to ride a bike. My dad taught me to ride a bike.
Meu pai me ensinou a andar de bicicleta.
My dad taught me to ride a bike. My dad taught me to ride a bike. I wore a helmet that was too big. I wore a helmet that was too big.
Eu usava um capacete que era grande demais.
I wore a helmet that was too big. I wore a helmet that was too big. I remember falling and getting up. I remember falling and getting up.
Eu me lembro de cair e me levantar.
I remember falling and getting up. I remember falling and getting up. We went to the zoo every summer. We went to the zoo every summer.
Íamos ao zoológico todos os verões.
We went to the zoo every summer. We went to the zoo every summer. I loved the monkeys at the zoo. I loved the monkeys at the zoo.
Eu adorava os macacos do zoológico.
I loved the monkeys at the zoo. I loved the monkeys at the zoo. We fed ducks at the pond. We fed ducks at the pond.
Alimentávamos os patos no lago.
We fed ducks at the pond. We fed ducks at the pond. I used to chase butterflies. I used to chase butterflies.
Eu corria atrás de borboletas.
I used to chase butterflies. I used to chase butterflies. I remember catching fireflies at night. I remember catching fireflies at night.
Eu me lembro de pegar vagalumes à noite.
I remember catching fireflies at night. I remember catching fireflies at night. We had a treehouse in the yard. We had a treehouse in the yard.
Tínhamos uma casa na árvore no quintal.
We had a treehouse in the yard. We had a treehouse in the yard. I read books under that tree. I read books under that tree.
Eu lia livros debaixo daquela árvore.
I read books under that tree. I read books under that tree. We camped in the backyard. We camped in the backyard.
Acampávamos no quintal.
We camped in the backyard. We camped in the backyard. I roasted marshmallows by a fire. I roasted marshmallows by a fire.
Eu tostava marshmallows na fogueira.
I roasted marshmallows by a fire. I roasted marshmallows by a fire. I loved the smell of campfire smoke. I loved the smell of campfire smoke.
Eu adorava o cheiro de fumaça de fogueira.
I loved the smell of campfire smoke. I loved the smell of campfire smoke. We went to the beach in July. We went to the beach in July.
Íamos à praia em julho.
We went to the beach in July. We went to the beach in July. I built sandcastles with my siblings. I built sandcastles with my siblings.
Eu construía castelos de areia com meus irmãos.
I built sandcastles with my siblings. I built sandcastles with my siblings. I collected seashells along the shore. I collected seashells along the shore.
Eu coletava conchas ao longo da praia.
I collected seashells along the shore. I collected seashells along the shore. I learned to swim at the pool. I learned to swim at the pool.
Eu aprendi a nadar na piscina.
I learned to swim at the pool. I learned to swim at the pool. I wore floaties and felt brave. I wore floaties and felt brave.
Eu usava boias e me sentia valente.
I wore floaties and felt brave. I wore floaties and felt brave. We played board games on rainy days. We played board games on rainy days.
Jogávamos jogos de tabuleiro em dias de chuva.
We played board games on rainy days. We played board games on rainy days. I remember playing checkers with my grandpa. I remember playing checkers with my grandpa.
Eu me lembro de jogar damas com meu avô.
I remember playing checkers with my grandpa. I remember playing checkers with my grandpa. We did puzzles on the floor. We did puzzles on the floor.
Fazíamos quebra-cabeças no chão.
We did puzzles on the floor. We did puzzles on the floor. I had a favorite teddy bear. I had a favorite teddy bear.
Eu tinha ursinho de pelúcia favorito.
I had a favorite teddy bear. I had a favorite teddy bear. I slept with that teddy every night. I slept with that teddy every night.
Eu dormia com esse ursinho todas as noites.
I slept with that teddy every night. I slept with that teddy every night. I had a bedtime at 8 o'clock. I had a bedtime at 8 o'clock.
Eu tinha hora de dormir às 8 horas.
I had a bedtime at 8 o'clock. I had a bedtime at 8 o'clock. I brushed my teeth and said good night. I brushed my teeth and said good night.
Eu escovava os dentes e dava boa noite.
I brushed my teeth and said good night. I brushed my teeth and said good night. I was afraid of the dark sometimes. I was afraid of the dark sometimes.
Eu tinha medo do escuro às vezes.
I was afraid of the dark sometimes. I was afraid of the dark sometimes. My mom left a night light on. My mom left a night light on.
Minha mãe deixava uma luzinha acesa.
My mom left a night light on. My mom left a night light on. I believed there were monsters under the bed. I believed there were monsters under the bed.
Eu acreditava que havia monstros debaixo da cama.
I believed there were monsters under the bed. I believed there were monsters under the bed. I had funny dreams about flying. I had funny dreams about flying.
Eu tinha sonhos engraçados sobre voar.
I had funny dreams about flying. I had funny dreams about flying. We celebrated birthdays with cake and balloons. We celebrated birthdays with cake and balloons.
Comemorávamos aniversários com bolo e balões.
We celebrated birthdays with cake and balloons. We celebrated birthdays with cake and balloons. I made a wish and blew out candles. I made a wish and blew out candles.
Eu fazia pedido e assoprava as velas.
I made a wish and blew out candles. I made a wish and blew out candles. I loved the ice cream truck song. I loved the ice cream truck song.
Eu adorava a música do carro do sorvete.
I loved the ice cream truck song. I loved the ice cream truck song. We ran outside to buy popsicles. We ran outside to buy popsicles.
Corríamos para fora para comprar picolés.
We ran outside to buy popsicles. We ran outside to buy popsicles. I helped with small chores at home. I helped with small chores at home.
Eu ajudava em pequenas tarefas em casa.
I helped with small chores at home. I helped with small chores at home. I set the table for dinner. I set the table for dinner.
Eu punha a mesa para o jantar.
I set the table for dinner. I set the table for dinner. I cleaned my room on Saturdays. I cleaned my room on Saturdays.
Eu limpava meu quarto aos sábados.
I cleaned my room on Saturdays. I cleaned my room on Saturdays. I saved coins in a piggy bank. I saved coins in a piggy bank.
Eu guardava moedas em um cofrinho.
I saved coins in a piggy bank. I saved coins in a piggy bank. I used to trade baseball cards. I used to trade baseball cards.
Eu trocava cartas de beisebol.
I used to trade baseball cards. I used to trade baseball cards. We played catch in the yard. We played catch in the yard.
Brincávamos de jogar a bola no quintal.
We played catch in the yard. We played catch in the yard. I joined a soccer team one year. I joined a soccer team one year.
Certo ano, entrei para um time de futebol.
I joined a soccer team one year. I joined a soccer team one year. My jersey was too big for me. My jersey was too big for me.
Minha camisa era grande demais para mim.
My jersey was too big for me. My jersey was too big for me. I remember my first goal. I remember my first goal.
Eu me lembro do meu primeiro gol.
I remember my first goal. I remember my first goal. We had little league on weekends. We had little league on weekends.
Tínhamos liga mirim nos fins de semana.
We had little league on weekends. We had little league on weekends. I took piano lessons after school. I took piano lessons after school.
Eu fazia aulas de piano depois da escola.
I took piano lessons after school. I took piano lessons after school. I practiced scales slowly and softly. I practiced scales slowly and softly.
Eu praticava escalas devagar e suavemente.
I practiced scales slowly and softly. I practiced scales slowly and softly. I had a dance recital in spring. I had a dance recital in spring.
Eu tive uma apresentação de dança na primavera.
I had a dance recital in spring. I had a dance recital in spring. I wore shiny shoes for the show. I wore shiny shoes for the show.
Eu usei sapatos brilhantes para a apresentação.
I wore shiny shoes for the show. I wore shiny shoes for the show. I drew pictures for my parents. I drew pictures for my parents.
Eu desenhava para meus pais.
I drew pictures for my parents. I drew pictures for my parents. They put my drawings on the fridge. They put my drawings on the fridge.
Eles colocavam meus desenhos na geladeira.
They put my drawings on the fridge. They put my drawings on the fridge. We visited our grandparents on Sundays. We visited our grandparents on Sundays.
Visitávamos nossos avós aos domingos.
We visited our grandparents on Sundays. We visited our grandparents on Sundays. Grandma baked cookies for us. Grandma baked cookies for us.
Minha avó assava biscoitos para nós.
Grandma baked cookies for us. Grandma baked cookies for us. The house always smelled like cinnamon. The house always smelled like cinnamon.
A casa sempre cheirava a canela.
The house always smelled like cinnamon. The house always smelled like cinnamon. We played cards around the table. We played cards around the table.
Jogávamos cartas em volta da mesa.
We played cards around the table. We played cards around the table. I loved listening to family stories. I loved listening to family stories.
Eu adorava ouvir histórias da família.
I loved listening to family stories. I loved listening to family stories. I asked questions about the old days. I asked questions about the old days.
Eu fazia perguntas sobre os velhos tempos.
I asked questions about the old days. I asked questions about the old days. We looked at photo albums together. We looked at photo albums together.
Olhávamos álbuns de fotos juntos.
We looked at photo albums together. We looked at photo albums together. I laughed at my baby pictures. I laughed at my baby pictures.
Eu ria das minhas fotos de bebê.
I laughed at my baby pictures. I laughed at my baby pictures. I had a small puppy named Max. I had a small puppy named Max.
Eu tinha cachorrinho chamado Max.
I had a small puppy named Max. I had a small puppy named Max. I learned to take care of him. I learned to take care of him.
Eu aprendi a cuidar dele.
I learned to take care of him. I learned to take care of him. We walked in the park every evening. We walked in the park every evening.
Andávamos no parque todas as noites.
We walked in the park every evening. We walked in the park every evening. I threw a ball and he ran. I threw a ball and he ran.
Eu jogava uma bola e ele corria.
I threw a ball and he ran. I threw a ball and he ran. I remember my first lost tooth. I remember my first lost tooth.
Eu me lembro do meu primeiro dente de leite que caiu.
I remember my first lost tooth. I remember my first lost tooth. I put it under my pillow. I put it under my pillow.
Eu coloquei embaixo do meu travesseiro.
I put it under my pillow. I put it under my pillow. The tooth fairy left $1. The tooth fairy left $1.
A fada do dente deixou $1.
The tooth fairy left $1. The tooth fairy left $1. Snow days were the best days. Snow days were the best days.
Dias de neve eram os melhores dias.
Snow days were the best days. Snow days were the best days. We built a snowman in the yard. We built a snowman in the yard.
Fizemos boneco de neve no quintal.
We built a snowman in the yard. We built a snowman in the yard. I drank hot cocoa after playing. I drank hot cocoa after playing.
Eu bebia chocolate quente depois de brincar.
I drank hot cocoa after playing. I drank hot cocoa after playing. We made paper snowflakes in class. We made paper snowflakes in class.
Fazíamos flocos de neve de papel na aula.
We made paper snowflakes in class. We made paper snowflakes in class.
Obrigado por assistir. Inscreva-se no canal e ative as notificações para receber novos vídeos e continuar sua jornada no inglês.